Since day one of this Austin Metcalf Carmelo Anthony case, everyone has been wanting to see the videos because we all know they exist, but for some odd reason, they have been really able to crack down on all of the evidence and information when it comes to this case. Somehow, some way, they were able to silence an entire stadium filled with people. I don't know how they did it. I've never seen anything like this pulled off before. But somehow, some way, they managed to, I don't know if they threatened people, if they scared people, I don't know what happened, but they managed to keep everyone in that stadium silent this entire time. No one has really spoken out about what they saw. Somehow, some way, even though we know we got camera phones rolling left and right, not a single cell phone video has surfaced. It's really impressive when you think about it. They really had to go to some extreme lengths here to ensure that a lot of this information doesn't come out. And the media has had to actively avoid hundreds of people that were at that stadium that day. And we know they have surveillance footage of the stadium, and about a week ago, they finally released the footage, edited footage. They finally released some edited footage to members of the media. Now, different people from different news outlets, independent journalists, you name it, have viewed the footage. And they're obviously not able to show us the footage, so they have to tell us what they remember from their viewing of the footage. And everyone's story basically lines up, but people have their own, little details that stick out that some people forgot to mention. For example, we know that Karmelo Anthony tripped and fell as he was running away after stabbing Austin Metcalf. And for me, that is a very big detail because we don't know if Karmelo could have scraped his knee, scraped his elbow, and possibly minorly injured, had a minor injury during this fall that he could say were self-defense wounds. We were in the middle of the fight and I scraped my knee while fighting Austin. We don't know if Karmelo can lie and say something like that. So him getting spotted falling down bleachers while running away from after he stabbed Austin, that's a big detail. It's little things like that you got to look at and think about, folks. But now, more members of the media have watched the footage, and they've come out, basically with the same story that everyone else has. But from what they say, and this is their words, not mine. It's not like I'm making this stuff up. From what they say, there was no real altercation before the stabbing took place. Now, Carmelo Anthony supporters, they've been out here for months saying, oh, Austin was bullying Carmelo. Austin and his brother, his twin brother Hunter, they were so much bigger than Carmelo. They were jumping Carmelo. But from what we're hearing from the media now that just watched this footage, they say there was no real commotion. There was no big altercation. There was just a quick stabbing and then people running away. I want to go ahead and dive into this article so you all can hear their words, not mine. Let's go ahead and see what they have to say here. It was just after 10 a.m. on April 2nd during what should have been a typical high school track meet at David Cuckendale Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Students were warming up and stretching, patiently waiting for the competition to resume after a pause due to heavy rain. Spectators and some students took cover under a tent in the bleachers of Memorial High School. The atmosphere was calm and uneventful until it suddenly turned to bloodshed. In a matter of seconds, then 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony fatally stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, transforming a rain delay into a crime scene. On Monday, we became one of the only 2 news organizations granted access to surveillance footage of the deadly incident, a killing that shocked the nation and ignited debates about race, privilege, and the criminal justice system. The 40-minute surveillance video, recorded from a stationary camera on the opposite side of the football field, captures the 10 minutes leading up to the attack and the desperate efforts by Metcalf's twin brother and others to save his life before paramedics arrived. Metcalf, a student at Memorial High School, was stabbed after confronting Anthony, who attended Centennial High School, about sitting under the tent of a team he was not affiliated with, according to police and statements made by Metcalf's father after the killing. Anthony has admitted to the stabbing, but maintains he acted in self-defense, claiming that the truth will come out. Initially, Frisco police said an altercation between the teens led to the violent encounter. However, the footage we reviewed at the Frisco Independent School District's headquarters shows no obvious physical confrontation between the 2 prior to the stabbing at all. We did not detect anything that indicated chaos was about to ensue. Strict guidelines were enforced for viewing the footage. Reporters were only permitted to take handwritten notes and were barred from capturing or republishing stills or clips. The district allowed the limited release because the students' identities are not easily discernible in the video. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, it becomes apparent that the moment has happened when an armed Anthony attacks Metcalf. The stabbing itself is not visible on camera, but the immediate reaction is. Students are seen immediately fleeing from under the tent. While police later confirmed Anthony fled the scene, he cannot be easily identified in the footage. Moments later, at least 2 people can be seen carrying an injured Metcalf down the bleachers to a walkway at the bottom of the seating area. More individuals, including some adults, are seen rushing to his side to help. As rain begins to fall again, Metcalf is visibly cradled in the arms of his twin brother Hunter, bleeding heavily as they await emergency medical services. It took 10 minutes for the ambulance to arrive after the stabbing. So, folks, this is big news when it comes to this case. Obviously, we have not seen the footage. And I'm the type of guy, I'm like, hey, I want to see the footage myself so I can make my own judgments. And I understand a lot of you all feel that way as well. But right now, just as of right now, this is what we have to rely on. And we've heard from multiple people that have seen this video. And now, this confirmation that there's no indication of any type of physical altercation at all. It's like from the way, they see it, it's like everything is kind of calm and chill. Then there's like almost an immediate stabbing, and then people start scattering and running. From the footage they see, they don't see a big fight. And to be clear, if you've been following the factual information, if you read the police report, if you listened to what the few witnesses said that were there that did speak out, there was no big fight. The only people that are trying to make it seem like there was some big altercation are the people defending Karmelo, spreading lies. So, yeah, when you listen to the description of this footage, you can say, hey, we already knew that. But the point is, there's an argument being made that this is self-defense. Karmelo is claiming self-defense, and his brain-dead supporters are rallying around him, creating all of these fake stories that, oh, the twins were robbing Karmelo and beating him up and smashing his phone, and they were doing all of this to him. But the footage doesn't show any of that. The footage doesn't show a fight at all. The footage basically shows something happened really quickly, and then people start scattering. So Austin and Karmelo, if we're to believe what we've been told about this footage, they did not fight. They were not in the middle of a fight, throwing blows at each other, swinging on each other, and then somewhere along the lines, the knife gets pulled out. No, it looks like it almost immediately went to knife getting pulled out and Austin getting poked in the chest. And then Karmelo runs away. So the description of this footage, it lines up perfectly with everything that we've heard from the people who were there that did speak out, which is only a few people. It lines up perfectly with the police report. So, I mean, for me, I don't need this description of the footage to understand what happened there that day. Because for me, what happened there that day is pretty clear. But when you have hundreds of thousands of liars on the internet, Karmelo Anthony supporters, spreading a bunch of nonsense, this becomes important. Because the narrative that they're spreading does not align with what we heard from witnesses. It does not align with what we heard or saw in the police report. And it does not align with what we're hearing about the footage. So from the looks of things right now, there was no fight. Maybe Austin pushed him, shoved him, did something. I'm not saying that that didn't happen. But there was not a knockdown, drag-out brawl on the bleachers. Karmelo wasn't getting jumped on the bleachers. It very quickly went to Karmelo just stabbing Austin in a matter of seconds and then people running away. So I don't know how well this self-defense claim is going to hold up in court. I know in a just world it would not hold up at all. But if you've been watching my videos, I know a lot of people have moved on from this story. But if you've been paying attention to my videos, then you know a lot of things have been happening on the low, kind of quietly. A lot of things that have been happening to work in Karmelo Anthony's favor. They've been bending the knee to Karmelo and his family this entire time. So I don't know what to expect once a trial does come. But I do assume that it will get ugly along the way. For now, though, you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.